I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. The first president in American history charged with felonies and is currently on trial again and still. This week had his henchman and fixer testify against him. Of course, this was after the porn actress he cheated on his wife with testified first. This dude makes you yearn for Nixon. This is Michael Cohen, who actually did jail time for his scheme to pay off the aforementioned porn star to keep her quiet before the 2016 election. Cohen then got convicted of campaign finance violations and that he had lied about the deal for Trump Tower Moscow also. You know, the hotel Trump was going to build in Russia and then give Putin the penthouse. Remember? I know it. It is so hard to keep up with the menu of felonies of the former president. The sexual assaults, the tax cheating, the deals with Putin, the attack on the Capitol, the billions from Saudi, and the stealing of top secret documents that he happened to keep at his golf resort and then invited the Saudis over. Oh, that's why they gave Jared all those billions. I knew it.
The views of this podcast are the host views and not proven fact, although it's the only logical explanation.
Michael Cohen did a great job of laying out how connected Donald Trump was to the hush money payments to Stormy. Yeah, I hear people on the right all the time saying, yeah, so he slept with the porn star, so. In fact, Fox News thought it made him super cool.
That makes him a sex god.
You know, sleeping with a porn star while your wife was raising your newborn. Such a stud, bro. You know, like the Bible and Jesus said you should do. Here's the crime, though. Trump used the money to pay Stormy Daniels to keep her quiet so he could win the presidency, which is the same campaign finance felony Michael Cohen was convicted of and went to jail for. And I don't mean the same kind of crime. I mean the exact fucking crime. So Cohen being convicted set a precedent for the ex-president whose scumbag behavior is unprecedented. Trump's family haven't been showing up to his trial. However, his henchmen have. That's right. The people backing up Sweet Potato Hitler during his first trial, he has 4, by the way, but his crew supporting him in court happened to be senators and the Speaker of the House, Tommy Tuberville, football coach and guy who isn't quite sure what branch of the government he is in, and J.D. Vance, who said Trump was loathsome, an idiot, noxious, reprehensible, and cultural heroin. Of course, now J.D. Vance is on Trump's side. Trump even said,
JD is kissing my ass. He wants my support.
Oh, you got to be proud. J.D. Vance is an ex-Marine, and if I may, is the only soldier Trump was right about, because this dude is a sucker and a loser. Then, this is Mike I Found Waldo Johnson, who showed up in the New York courtroom to support Trump. That's right. The guy second in line for the presidency is in court backing up the guy who tried to end the presidency. Cool. We are in weird times, people. Again. And still. Make it stop! I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. I can't even do this anymore. Every week, it's just some shit that seems like it's made up, as if Dr. Seuss and fucking some of the craziest fucking shit that I've ever... Anyway, every week, he did what with the president, and he's still in the polls? How is that fucking possible? Hey everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. My crew is still getting their shites together. Hi, with me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There can be only one. I'm here and ready.
Good. We are going to have a guest today, but let's start out with us. We are going to have a guest, little Andrew Rivers, my son.
The Little Andrew River Band.
We got to talk to him about that because there's now 4 of you identical looking people doing comedy.
Yes.
So I'm including Joel McHale.
Oh, yeah.
Young Titus.
Yeah.
Little Andy Rivers.
Yeah.
The real Titus.
Yeah.
And Joel McHale.
So we'll introduce Andrew as not Jet Titus.
Not yet. So today, this week was pretty crazy. Now, I want to go, last week you did the Springsteen podcast and the one about the Armageddon Update because Ken and Ray have both said you can't keep beating politics to death every week.
It's not. It's Trump.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Did people like it?
People did.
Is it worth it?
Yes, people. There's
a
lot of really good comments.
Was there some relief? Like, oh, thank God.
Yes. Yeah, there were a bunch of those.
Don't walk behind the Kim because you're on camera.
Oh, that's right.
But it's right. This weird shadow just in silhouette just walked behind you like a stalker.
You don't have to cut it. You could just leave it on.
So
Paranormal fucking activity.
Our guest is roaming, and all of a sudden he's backlit with red. It's like, oh, Satan is behind Ken right now.
The real carrying monster is back here.
Walked out.
Do you know what's interesting is he's pacing like we pace before we go on stage.
Yeah.
Which makes me think, like, what is he about to do when he comes?
I don't know, but
okay.
but he's a performer, so it's still we're over it. We are so over our old podcast.
Yes.
So this week, so we have Stormy Daniels, who basically tore it up pretty much. Everyone thought she was going to show herself to be
with how you say things.
A scumbag. Well, everyone thought she was going to be like a low rent white trash, and she's very smart. She's a writer. She's married. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course. She has a daughter.
Why
are you surprised? You're one of those people.
No.
She knows how babies are made.
Really
well.
No, she knows how to get rid of them.
Oh.
No, no. Oh my God.
What? Oh my God. I'm sorry. Am I offending you with the woman?
I'm saying how he flipped it. That's what the part was funny.
So,
not the
he's trying
not the murder part.
No one's voting for you.
Once
Relax.
every 2 months,
try to win.
we'll do a non-political podcast.
So she said funny thing. She said they go, this story seems kind of implausible, and she's like, I'm a writer. If I was gonna write, so I'd write it a lot better than this one. She was really snarky, I thought. And then Cohen, they thought was gonna get up and be a douchebag, a henchman, arrogant, Michael Cohen, and he wasn't. He was very calm.
He's been heavily sedated and highly trained.
They CBD'd the shit out of him.
The problem with that is that he's obviously, they've worked with him a lot because he is a live wire like Trump is to his attorneys.
Right.
And the Todd Blanche just opened the cross by asking him, did you say this about me? And it's like, piece of shit, douchebag, motherfucker. I hope he spends his life. Are you selling t-shirts on your website with Trump behind bars? Are you saying fuck it? And so it's like so fake that he's sitting there and answering questions so calmly.
But also, though, isn't that the dumbest defense? By the way, none of this that you've just brought up, that he sells Trump t-shirts, that you called his Trump's attorney a piece of shit, none of that has anything to do with the fact that Donald Trump was part of the conspiracy committing the crime that Michael Cohen did jail time for.
Who is selling piece of shithole country t-shirts and fake gold bars, that he's doing the same shit.
They don't care what he does. He can do
that's
anything.
true.
But we still don't understand. I did. By the way, Texas Paul. I did his show this morning, and we talked about this a lot. We still don't understand why people are still fucking following this shit. Why are you still backing this guy? But anyway, either way, so the precedent has been set. This has already been judged a crime. We know it's been this exact crime. It's not like Trump did a different crime that Michael Cohen also got convicted. It's the same crime.
Right.
They were co-conspirators in the same crime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any way for Trump to not get convicted.
In Michael Cohen's, so when he pled guilty, in the documents, it said he's pleading guilty to participating in election fraud at the direction of and for the benefit of Donald Trump.
Right.
That was
unindicted co-conspirator one.
Charging papers.
So it's literally names Donald Trump in the thing that he got put
as
in
the
prison.
guy he did this crime for that he's now
they
going
both
to
had
jail
the masks
for.
on.
Can't we just Xerox it and just
that's
go
what you think, right?
Jail.
Because I don't know why he's going to trial then if we've already got the guy who did jail time is testifying that, yeah, he was with me. I don't like the judge should have just went like this. You know what? We're done here.
I just realized I said Xerox. By the way,
I wasn't going to say anything.
Now let's go. And now a day in history.
Boomer time.
Wasn't going to comment. I almost did, and then I thought, no, I'm too nitpicky. But explain it, Boomer. Help people understand.
Xerox is a brand.
Copy paste.
There you go.
There you go. So I don't understand why that's if the jury. There's no way the jury can actually convict Michael Cohen.
Sure.
And then let Donald Trump
He
go.
pled guilty.
Oh, he pled guilty. So he should have fought it, you think?
I didn't say that. I just said he didn't have a jury. He pled guilty.
But he also got in trouble. You told me this morning he got in trouble for the Trump Tower thing. He lied about Trump Tower Moscow.
Lied to Congress. Special counsel found that he had lied to Congress as to the length of time the negotiations were going on into 2016 election year on Trump Tower, Moscow.
Wow.
So you think about who did he do that for?
Right.
It's the guy whose name is on the tower in Moscow.
What was the Russian?
By the way, who was the Trump Tower deal for? Rick.
Right.
You can't really say another name.
So they found that negotiations were ongoing throughout election season and that they lied about it, but only Michael Cohen is in trouble for that.
This is why I think the jury has to convict Trump. Now, the debates got set for June 27th with Trump and Biden, which is just, and I think other people have said it too. It's the two guys in the balcony of the Muppets. I don't know if I want to watch this.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but again, like a car wreck, you've got like your grandpa who served in the war arguing with your fucking criminal,
no chips.
with your criminal uncle. I said
AI chips? You mean?
I said that.
AI?
Yeah, the Chips
President
Act.
Biden?
Is
Chips Act.
No,
Thank you.
Ruffles. There's not enough Ruffles.
But that's what he needs to do. He needs to actually do the CHIP Act for bags of chips. There's a second CHIP Act addendum.
He's trying.
It's also the CHIP Act because there's, by the way, it's no joke. There's less chips. It's no joke.
And then he pulls
I'm
out
not joking. There's no joke.
And then he pulls out a microchip out of the bag of chips.
There
and
you
bam,
go.
he gets them.
Then, bam, and
I knew
then passed.
So the Trump team immediately agreed to the conditions. No audience, which is obviously would hurt Trump because Trump plays to an audience. The more of a circus it is, the more no audience, and microphone gets immediately cut when your time is up, which Trump did not pay attention to last time. He just kept yelling in the microphone. So, and they agreed to that too.
And none of the debates can be done on Fox.
No, it's going to be CNN and then ABC.
Ugh, I wish it was the BBC.
That
Somebody else needs to come in. And just,
some Scottish. When we went to Scotland, you're right. These people would go. And by the way, you were bankrupt. What does that? You bankrupt 6 times.
it was a beautiful bankruptcy. 17 of
in
them.
our country, anybody who's that inept in finances would not be allowed to be president. We got told this in Scotland.
Repeatedly.
Got told it.
You're a very nasty person. Go back to your shithole country.
By
Quit
people
bleeding out of here,
driving,
whatever.
By people driving Ubers.
Yeah.
We're so clear. How can it's a conflict of interest for him to have gone bankrupt and then run your country?
A lot of smart
And
people
we're
drive Ubers.
We're so far past that one.
Yeah.
You should hear what he did.
You guys know he wants to
Ukraine.
fuck his daughter, right? like are we talking about this now? Because I was out then. I was out I would date her. I was out then.
We always default to that because it's the most insane thing, and there's so much proof of him.
Okay.
I
know.
Okay.
And I
you
know.
have a father, right? You do.
Well,
right? Kind of.
Okay. All right. By the way, no.
Do you
there's
want
a
me
hole
to
blown
cry?
through her soul her whole life. But
he
is a guy who was her
sort
of. Yes.
He's
This has gone to a weird
he
place.
takes in oxygen. but
won't take her phone calls. Go ahead.
He does take my phone calls. That's another podcast called Help Me. So I know that I have argued with you guys just because I feel like that's a salacious leading point, right? To always say he wants to bang his daughter. I agreed that it was weird. I have a real problem with a father letting Howard Stern say your daughter's a nice piece of ass and laughing and agreeing.
He goes, yeah, and he smiles.
That's one thing my father would not have taken ever. That's something my brother would kill someone.
That's you get punched in the face for that.
Howard Stern would have got punched in the face.
But then
or tone it down. You go at least tone it down.
But then John Kelly came out and said that the graphic way in which he described Ivanka's body as she was coming and going in meetings, that he actually had to stop certain situations from happening so that Ivanka wouldn't be coming in and out when people were there. And also he had to say something like, you can't say that. And then the final nail in the coffin on both of your
so you're on our boat now.
Is
finally
he told both Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal both separately said that he said, you remind me of my daughter.
Oh my God.
So would you ever say you remind me of my daughter and then bang somebody? Like,
no.
If somebody reminded him of Kenny, he would
run.
See, that has to have something to your primate brain that says no. Like if you're that messed up,
But he doesn't get that though. You got to remember, you want to talk about a helicopter parented bullshit child. This kid was born into serious wealth. His mother doted on him. He got everything that he fucked up, got passed over, signed away, bought off, from his school to everything. So this man has been untethered for his whole life. So he does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. And I think that's why some of the poor people, trailer people love him. Because the man, if I'm a scumbag like him, I could be a billionaire too.
Do whatever I want.
Yeah. So
daughter.
I'm glad you're finally
stuff.
on our boat, because this guy, it's so you understand men. You know, men. We can read a dude who's just going, my daughter's very beautiful. That guy. Your dad could say that. No, Rachel's gorgeous. That's you love your daughter. That's great. She's hot. If your dad said Rachel's a nice piece of ass, I'd be like, hey man, we got to go now. You're 80, but I'm kicking your ass right now.
And when your dad slept with a porn star, compared that porn star
and
to
another
you.
woman, multiple women he slept with after saying they reminded him of his daughter.
Can I talk about one thing? So there was something that came up this week that really hit me, and I think I brought it up once before about David Pecker and the Inquirer. There was a thing that Michael Cohen said that he said, he goes, I don't want to just spend this money for David Pecker and the Inquirer. Pecker. His name's Pecker. And he kept it. He could have changed it. He didn't. I'm staying Pecker. Okay, Pecker. So I'm always going to be for. It's never going to change. Everybody get over it. They said that they tried to use that money to not just get the Stormy Daniels story, but there's a whole, quote, treasure trove of Trump stuff, women that he slept with who have sold their stories, inquired that they've got a drawer full of shit. Remember I said that? I said that the reason that David Pecker came up and testified against Trump. They interviewed Trump that afternoon. What do you think of David Pecker now? He goes, I think he's a very nice man. Because imagine what that dude has in that vault on Trump. I think Chris Christie too. Chris Christie, can't call Chris Christie fat.
He just called him. He was just talking smack about him at the rally yesterday,
but not smack like he talks about everybody else. I think you can always. It's such an easy tell when someone has some shit on Trump, because he just won't go after him.
Yeah, he lays off for sure.
He just won't go after him.
Speaking of Chris Christie, this episode brought to you by AG1.
Nice, very thin thread, but still,
it's a fat thread.
If you don't want to be Chris Christie, AG1.
I love AG1 because it's a very high quality. They care about the level of quality. They're always putting it through rigorous testing. I think they've had like 52 different iterations of the product, which means it just keeps getting better. I am putting it in my smoothie every morning, and it tastes awesome. In the old days, back when I used to train for fitness shows, if you bought green powder,
lawn clippings,
you could not disguise it with any amount of fruit, almond butter, anything. It was heinous. You would have to drink it and then hold your nose, and then we would have something to drink right after.
Yeah, it was the old stuff was as if they had scraped it from a golf course after a mow day,
twigs and pine cones in it,
and then put it through a blender. Yeah,
some rocks.
This is it tastes really good. It's got a tropical, almost like fruity flavor. I don't know how they do that. You guys know what's in it?
Adaptogens, 75 vitamins, minerals, and adaptogens.
Whole food source superfoods, probiotics, prebiotics.
Diabolical.
You're not getting AG1 cult now.
I'm in hardcore. I love this stuff. This is something that we talked about in the very beginning of the podcast about how there's all these additives and chemicals and contaminants that European countries don't allow.
1,200.
But we do.
Yep.
So AG1 is tested for 950 contaminants and banned substances, while the industry standard here typically only tests for 10. So I'm sad about half of that sentence and really happy about the first half.
Well, the real estate prices are going to come down pretty quick in the next 20 anyways. What happened?
You're also getting
there's no one to buy.
Digestive enzymes. You're getting rhodiola and B vitamins for your energy. You're getting folate, magnesium, ashwagandha for stress support, vitamin C and zinc to support your immune health. Andrew, don't you use this?
Every morning.
Yep. Andrew Rivers uses this every morning.
Get over here, sir.
My mom saw that I use this, and then she bought me some
Wait.
She bought me some off-brand stuff, and it tasted like shit. And I was like,
And
oh,
then
I
you
thought
do
they
it.
all tasted this good. But
No.
AG1's the best.
You use it every morning.
Every morning.
AG1's
And look
the
how
only one.
beautiful I am.
Yeah, put the mic down. We're going to bring you on in a second.
It'll be funny if he just shows up. Like there's no continuous
I
sentence.
forgot. He and
It's
I
just going to be a
actually,
shoulder.
we had a whole conversation about AG1 in the green room in Tacoma. That's how good this stuff is.
Yep.
That or we have nothing to talk about, really. So I think you should replace, you don't have to take all those pills, replace the multivitamin and more. You can start with AG1. Try it. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first subscription at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus.
Can I about the way, guys? I know we advertise and stuff. We don't ask for a Patreon. We don't ask for stuff. Although support us when you can. The reason we advertise the way we advertise and we only advertise stuff we use is because I'm not good at hacking through a shitty
Faking
product.
it. Yeah.
So when we have a great product, I notice our ads are really long is because we like the product.
we use them and we love
We're
them.
like, no.
Yeah.
And then this happened. And I like the feeling of, AG1 gives me a feeling of, because we have it in our smoothie every morning and just kind of calm and peace throughout the day. Takes a little bit of the coffee
It's
edge
got
off.
stress support
There you go. That's you, and you know me.
and
I need that.
adaptogens. It's so hot in here.
He needs a custom blend.
So
More stress
I
support.
want to talk about this thing too. So Mike Johnson,
Listen.
Tommy at Tuberville and or Tumerville, and then JD Vance showed up in court for Trump because his family won't.
Right.
Eric did.
They had to recruit
Eric did,
these
but,
sycophants.
but again, Eric is the special kid with the helmet that just shows up. Like
He doesn't know where he is.
Like Don doesn't show up, Ivanka won't show up, Guilfoyle won't show up. None of his family shows up.
These are the guys that all dressed in Trump uniforms too,
Right?
right?
Did you see that? That's crazy.
It's the weirdest thing.
It was literally-
they had blonde wigs. They were painted orange. It was the whole.
Yeah, it was like the evil Temptations showed up. It's crazy. So here's the thing. Here's the thing that bothers me. And someone posted. I was listening to the news yesterday. Someone kind of put this in context. Mike Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House, he is second in line to take over the presidency, showed up in court to back up Donald Trump, who, by the way, tried to end democracy.
Yeah.
So whatever Mike Johnson did about getting money to Ukraine or put that bill through, and I kept thinking to myself, why is he doing that? And I thought, oh, guess who we haven't heard from since that vote in Congress? Marjorie Taylor Greene. So Trump is all transactional. So he basically was like, all right, you're going to put that through. I'm going to back everybody else off you, but you got to show up in court.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Does that make sense? So Mike John, because Trump could basically have gotten him out. You know what else we haven't heard of from recently is Matt Gaetz. What did these people
the
fade?
Speaker also stood out inside of the courthouse and said our justice system is broken and that, quote, Donald Trump is innocent of all these charges.
Right there should be investigated. Right there.
You
Flip
haven't
that.
allowed our justice system to work yet.
Exactly.
The jury has
They've
not.
been subverting it.
But Michael Cohen went to jail for the same exact crime, not a similar crime, the crime.
No, he did that for himself on his own.
Oh, okay. So it's not a crime then, because he
No,
did it for himself.
it's a crime, but he
Oh.
did that crime and took out a HELOC to pay off a porn star because he wanted to do
good
it.
heart.
He was going
Because he
rogue.
loved, he loved his boss that much.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's like arguing with Republicans, especially pro-Trump Republicans? You ever been in that bad relationship where a fight would start and the person would keep spinning it
Yes.
to where you could never get to the heart of
Yes.
the matter? You're like, no, this is what I'm mad
The
about.
target
No,
keeps
you're-
moving.
No, you're just
Yes.
mad.
Yeah.
And they would keep spinning it and flipping it to you're like, I'm fucking nuts now. Now I
Yeah.
don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All I was mad about was this one thing, and now we've talked about 56 other things.
Yep.
And I had a couple relationships like where I remember I was young, so I stayed in them way too long. But I remember the day I left, I was like, oh, I can think again. And that's what it feels like with Republicans right now. You can't even think because they start going. She brought it up perfectly. She said, "What you were talking about? How they never bring up the incident."
Well, a family member of mine actually on the phone the other day said, yeah, you know that Alvin Bragg even made up a law to charge Donald Trump. It's all politically motivated. They're never, first of all,
Can't make up a law, by the way.
And because somebody would have said something would have happened.
Yeah.
The judge would have said, who has ruled in Trump's favor
This
on
isn't a
several
law.
things.
He would have said, this
Yeah.
isn't a law.
Yeah. But I noticed they're never talking about whether or not he did it. They're never saying he didn't do that. He's innocent.
And when you do ask him this, go, but he did it. Yeah, but they all do it.
Yeah, that's
that too.
That's it.
The both
he
sides.
did say that too. Oh, they're all bad.
No, they're not. How come the other ones aren't in jail?
I've had so many people say that to me recently, and I said,
I
don't think you can argue they would be the same level of bad. You know, one tried to overthrow our government.
Okay.
I told Texas Paul this though. I said, here's the good news, and you have to see through it. Do you remember before? And when Trump was running the first time, everybody was like, Trump. They were like, make America great. Fuck you. There was no even hedging on it.
Yeah.
It was like, this is my guy. Now there's so exact people like, they're visiting. I'm kind of tired, man. I still like Trump, but I don't know. I mean, I just want to stop doing this. Like they've come to this. They're not admitting they were wrong.
Yeah.
They will not admit they were wrong.
I don't think that they never will.
But they all do it. But there's a softening of it where they're like, fuck.
You know what's weird about okay, so you're presented with two options. Okay, both sides things. They're all criminals. Okay, if they're all criminals and we got one of them, why don't we take the one down? And then we can use that example to get the other ones.
Right. And
how about that logic?
And how about Menendez? We just watched Menendez. Menendez is so corrupt, and he's a Democrat. Here's the difference between us, the Democrats and Republicans. Republicans want their guy free no matter what he did.
Yeah.
Democrats
I
are
want
like,
Menendez
that
out.
fucking dude is the most corrupt dude. He was dealing with the Egyptian government and taking money in gold bars and hiding him in he sewed it into his jacket. You know what, dude? You're gone.
Yeah.
You're gone. But that's the difference between them. We actually want it done right. We want it done with integrity, and the Republicans just want to have power, and that's where I lose them.
Instead of what they're saying is everybody's a criminal, so let's just keep letting them be criminals, right? They're saying we have one. Okay, so let's take them down. Instead of going,
By the way,
they're all criminals.
So wait, if they're all criminals, then we should just let them all be criminals?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, well, no, but then why go after this one guy? Well, he's the big. No one else sent a mob to the Capitol to kill.
And the thing they don't get is that I was thinking about this on the way here, that he has been a criminal forever.
Yeah, it's not
Whole
new.
life.
It was what he was known for. His father was known for it.
Nixon-
They were slumlords.
He was a bully as a child.
It was one thing after another. When he was roasted for Comedy Central, there were jokes about him being mob and about being a slumlord. He's been famous for being a cheeseball and a criminal forever. So then his hubris made him run for president, and he got laughed at. And he tried to be a Democrat, and nobody took him seriously. Then he tried to run in 2012. He got laughed at when he said "bomb the motherfuckers" at a rally thing or something.
No, he said they want. He goes, they're not going to give us oil. They're not going to sell us cheap oil. Just bomb the motherfuckers. That's what it's about.
So then people were like, "You're out." So then he came back in 2016 as a Republican because it was his pride. He cannot stand to be laughed at or told no. So then he puts his criming, which we've all known about forever, on public display for all the world to see, except then he uses our government to shield him for those crimes and to engage in those crimes, like withholding aid to Ukraine that Congress had already passed.
Which we have people that heard the phone call that said, no,
We've
I heard him
the
say
phone
it.
call.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why he's being prosecuted now. People are like, oh, it's politically motivated. They're not charging everybody else. It's because he took all that criming and put it on national television and said, look, everybody, look at what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And law enforcement was like, we got to charge you now that you've told everybody.
We sat there the day of the insurrection. We were at the house, and I just kept going, Ray, look at this. What is going on? What is going on? And now they're taking Menendez. The jury's got set for Menendez. So guess what? We are getting them all.
Yeah.
We are getting them
exactly.
all. And if you commit a crime, you're going fucking down.
Speaking of a softening, this episode brought to you by OS1. Finish that sentence, but I have tried to jump in 1,000 times.
No, you haven't.
guys were
We
like,
did literally 3 minutes ago. We did another commercial. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
OS1. No, I'm done.
OS1, speaking of a softening. They are awesome. I have their body, OS1 body, OS1 face, OS1 eye, and shield. Oh, and prep, which is the skin wash. I had never used that before. I took it on the road this week because I needed tiny bottles, and it was awesome. You use it.
I love it.
You what? I can't. You have to say it into the microphone.
I love OS1.
Okay. So OS1, so your body starts, as you age, starts accumulating senescent cells, even in your 20s is when this starts, which is some bullshit. These are called zombie cells. They stop producing collagen with hyaluronic acid like they used to, so they start secreting an inflammatory substance that makes nearby cells dysfunctional. So then a bunch of women, all women, got together, scientists, and they found OneSkin. They created OneSkin and found the OS1 peptide, and it is scientifically proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost your hydration, and help with, like when you get older, your skin gets thinner. That's why old people are blue and veiny. Do you know what I mean?
By the way, that was my favorite comedy team during vaudeville, Blue and Veiny. They've been doing it forever. They actually started during Lincoln, but by the time vaudeville hit, they were Blue and Veiny.
They were black and white.
The easiest way to go
sepia.
Find out about it is read all their 5-star reviews, which is how I found them before they ever advertised on the podcast. I went and read all these reviews, and there's thousands of reviews, and people are like, no, this stuff actually works. And usually stuff that claims it works does not work. This
also doesn't have
works.
I was looking at what causes problems, and a lot of times in these lotions it's fragrance, and these guys don't have any fragrance. It's just clean.
I do
it's just
love that.
so clean.
Fragrance irritates my skin, and I love even the face wash, the prep. It's like it just feels very clean, and all you do is wash it, put the moisturizer on it, pat it in, and you're done.
My forehead gets dewy. I would like, it feels, oh.
Of course it feels good and clean. It was found by a group of women.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if it was found by a group of men?
It'd be like
Grease
sand.
and nuts and bolts.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, you can go read about their studies. They did a 12-week clinical study that was performed by a third-party research organization that found that OS1 face is clinically proven to strengthen the skin barrier, improve skin health markers, and it diminished visible signs of aging. Wrinkles diminished in 87% of people that tried it. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, it keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today. You get 15% off with promo code Titus at oneskin.co. That's 15% off oneskin.co with promo code Titus. After you buy it, they're going to ask you where you heard about it, and tell them that you heard about it from us.
Great product, long read. Every time you get a commercial now, they're sending you longer. Are we going off book so much that they're like, make sure they say all of this?
I think like products like that have research to back it up, there's more to say.
Okay.
But you should worry about the product that you get where they're like, it's good and it's a thumbs up or something.
We use it.
I have to go restart the computer for the recording because I'm
Super
sure it cut
awesome.
off at this point now.
Really
All right,
love
guys. So Ken, we're going to let you go. We're going to bring Andrew Rivers
Get
on.
outta here.
Thank you, bud.
Bye.
Bye. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I gave birth to this child in comedy, and I helped birth him. I was a midwife, comedic midwife for this friend of ours. We've known him for since he was 21, and he's headlining clubs around the country now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Andrew Rivers. Yay! Yeah, I'm glad. Thanks
Hello.
for dressing up for the podcast.
Thanks, Papa.
He wore it for me.
Oh my God! And the hat's on backwards.
You know, someone's got to be stylish here.
Yes, it's usually Rachel. Yes.
I wish we had a picture of him. I know we have it somewhere.
Sure.
When we first met him. Ken, you have to put that in because
Oh my God.
he looked like this.
Yeah,
He
short
had-
hair, close cropped. He was. Yeah.
It was hard to tell us apart at first.
You were
And
about-
now
you
I'm
were
the only
about-
one whose hair is still growing.
You were about 18. You weighed like 111 pounds.
You were so little.
You were so tiny.
You were
Hey,
not.
Mr. Titus, can I do some comedy?
That's exactly. How old were you then?
23 when I first started, but I
You
probably
were?
met you before that. No, I think we met on the radio at first, and
Right.
then my
you showed
dad
up
was
again.
like, oh, you should tell this professional comedian a joke. And I was like, great idea. And then it was not a great idea.
That's what you gotta love. My son has started doing comedy. I love that you have this. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
And tell me a joke. And no one laughs. And you go, oh, I guess I'm really I'm trying to be a comedian. There you go.
It's not
That's
that
it.
good, yeah.
So you're Andrew's on the road all the time doing comedy. By the way, your jokes you do kind of go after both sides a little bit. I noticed.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No,
'cause
it's not.
No one cares
I
about.
I wrote Armageddon.
I know. I should have learned from your mistakes, but I wrote all these jokes about like unity and we should come together, and both sides are like, fuck that. Like we don't care. Like we'd rather call people Nazis.
I love that you wrote both sides comedy that both sides hated.
Yeah. It's not fun.
It's a niche.
Because
It's your
you think
niche.
you like, oh, if I do a Trump joke, I'll get those people on my side, and then I'll do a Biden joke, and then the other people will be like, well, he had fun with both sides, but they go, well, I hate that one. So it's you know,
very few. Armageddon, I did that the best with it, and I think there is a lot of people that are like, I get this, especially now because when I wrote Armageddon, we didn't know how bad Trump was, and so it was kind of both sides. Hillary was kind of psycho. I did some jokes about Hillary. I don't want to die in an unusual one-car accident. Right?
Accident, yeah.
You made fun of her pantsuit.
Made fun of her pantsuit and stuff. So Lego Hillary. What is the square suit? What is she? Lego?
3PO.
Yeah, she 3PO. I made fun of her. And then we got the performance review on Trump over 4 years. And now people used to make fun of both sides. Yeah, but both sides didn't try to take over the government. Both sides didn't fuck up the pandemic so bad we were stacking bodies in refrigerator trucks. So he earned it. I'm just going to say,
So what are you doing? Are you doing political jokes?
Right now, I'm mostly personal stuff. I mean, I have a little line in there about, you know, my dad has cancer. He's only 68. He's not even old enough to run for president yet. But and most people, I mean, that's benign enough that both sides are just like, fuck the other guy, you know. But I don't understand like you know, they try to be witty, like the "Let's Go Brandon" slogan. It just doesn't hit the same, you know, because it's like,
They're
fuck
not
Joe
funny.
Biden. You're like,
They're
no,
not.
not my sixth choice for president, you know. Like they think that we love this guy the way they love Trump, and we're like, no, this is we're swallowing our medicine.
You know, when cops are going into a crowd of rioters, Biden's just a plastic shield we're holding up, like, please God, because no one else has the balls to come in. Go, Joe. No joke. It's no joke. Back it up. No joke. And so. Biden's not. I wish he was 60. I wish he was 40.
Yeah,
you know. And
that's the guy you say because right wing people are not funny. My family, it's just like
to this day.
Who's the guy? Greg Gutfield.
I
right?
will give anybody.
Oh, yes.
I will give you anybody $100 if you will show me a video of Greg Gutfield being funny.
He always says this, and they're playing
once.
a clip of him. And he says, Stormy Daniels is now doing comedy. You know how smarmy he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes,
she's smart, yeah.
She was a porn star. Now she's doing comedy, which is almost as bad as being a porn star. The joke is comedy is worse. It's a step down from porn. I'm like, how do you miss that?
Right.
He's the worst. I just walked around when I heard this the other day, like,
thinking of
right.
me going, yeah. I know. And here's the thing. He wrote something. The reason I went after Greg Gutfeld is because he wrote when I did the Sarah Palin thing years ago. He literally wrote for the whatever the conservative heritage fund, some right-wing rag, online rag. He wrote this thing, reviewed me about me doing this. He's threatened to kill her, blah, blah, blah. Oh. And so I wrote back to him and it went, of course I did. And then I went on Twitter and when it was still Twitter and just thrashed him. And I will still give anybody $100 you can show me video of Greg Gutfeld.
You could probably up that bet.
Actually being funny. Oh yeah, I started at 20, but it's been so
Inflation.
long. And I keep saying it and no one's ever gone, oh, here it is. They're like, yeah, fuck.
The joke.
Because you know people have looked at it.
It's so obvious in the stuff that he does and he doesn't see it. But he sits around with other right-wing weirdos, and they all like.
It's a circle jerk. Circle joke. Yeah, yeah. That's what about like real comics try to outdo each other in a way where almost, and then they'll rip on each other. Those guys just sit around. It's just a circle jerk. I can't stand it.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, at least Bill Maher is funny once in a while. You know, like
and he goes. Yeah. Bill Maher is John carrying the whole thing. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Or like one day I'm like, I agree with Bill Maher. Next day I'm like, fuck Bill Maher.
Which
like,
is fair. At least he's being his honest, self. You know, like
there is a point with Bill Maher you have to admit that there is a point when everything goes so sideways, he'll be like, because he was kind of supporting Trump for a minute, not supporting him, but there was like this pro right-wing stance.
Yeah.
It was definitely pro-bro. There
I think he's like empathizing a little bit. You know, where he's like, we're going to give some air to their point of view, or at least the valid points that he thinks. But
and then it stopped.
Yeah.
Then it got crazy.
I think he got angry This is just me guessing about someone I don't know at all.
Good move.
It's what you guys are doing. Let me do it too. You guys are like, let's
we
surmise
got
about this.
We turned her.
Because they tried to cancel him. Remember when he said he made that racist comment? And he was very mad about that. There was never a mea culpa thing.
He's
It
had
was
a couple
always,
of
he was
things.
pissed. I believe he said the N-word.
Yeah, the
House N-word.
Oh, that's not the first one. The other one he said about 9/11. You can say what you will; those guys aren't cowards that flew the planes into that was politically incorrect. That was the first time he got canceled. Bill Maher's been canceled repeatedly and still has a show that's run for 22 years.
You can't complain.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you're not getting. Again, I say this, and I'm going to ask you this as another comedian. I say every time someone bitches about cancel culture, I go, "Who got canceled?"
Mm-hmm.
I go, "Tell me."
Yeah.
Because the guys that bitch about it, if he was canceled, I wouldn't be able to see the
A lot of them just develop a more right-wing fan base and then become they're filling clubs and stuff with
but
that.
nobody has gotten
You
canceled.
almost said his name, and I did too.
There's so many to choose
There's
from.
one
so-
really
By the way,
specific.
nobody has gotten canceled.
Yeah.
Nobody. The only people that got canceled for stuff they really did, and they still sold out theaters.
Well, let's get some cancellation going. I'm
Yeah.
trying to help this career out. You know?
Exactly. How do I get more famous? Canceled.
Yeah.
I gotta get it canceled. So
I mean, if you were on a plane and they hijacked it and they were like, "We're going to crash into the Capitol," you might just be like, "Well, I'm just going to let them cook," Like those guys might be heroes now.
what the fuck? Yeah, you're right. At this point, they'd be like, "Yeah, man, get them.
Just
get them,
just
man.
kill them all and start over."
I have heard that. I've heard people
literally
say
heard people say that in
that.
interviews.
wow.
Jordan Klepper. Yeah, we need. It's time. It's time. Maybe we need a dictator. Read a book.
Oh, because dictators aren't going to go back to this clip and be like, "Except for you,
Yeah.
I'm not going to treat you."
You know
that
what? You were
way."
nice to me, so you get the
But
passing.
I brought this
Yeah.
up today on Texas Paul's podcast. No one has ever been on Trump's side. His best friend is Rudy Giuliani, and Rudy Giuliani's fucked, and Trump's not helping him. This man goes through people like a buzzsaw, and Michael Cohen was his right-hand guy, saved his ass repeatedly. His own wife won't show up in court. Like this guy's an asshole.
Well, it's
She
kinda
should wear
awkward.
that "Do you even care" shirt again.
Remember that? God,
I don't care to you.
I don't care to you. At the border looking at children in camps. What are you doing?
Speaking of something that Andrew needs, this episode brought to you by Fitbod.
Oh, I thought it was going to be a girlfriend. Oh, come on.
Next. Fitbod, this is yours. Take it away. Show your son what can happen.
Oh, if you just do a little bit of work.
He laughed.
I was going to get steroids from your friend
Yeah,
who shall
your
not be
friend.
mentioned anymore.
Fitbod, I am again on. I haven't stopped. It's been a year and a half. I have changed everything dramatically. It's funny. I got in the pool the other night, and just because I'm trying to do a cold plunge, but it's weenie cold plunge because it's California, so my pool's like 70. So I go from the hot tub 104 to 70. Oh, that's all right. It's not, but I noticed that it hasn't just changed, made my muscles bigger, made me in better shape. It's actually changed my physiology. My shoulders are back, and I walk different. Get Fitbod
Posture.
people, and also, and here's the thing. Listen, that's going to take a while, but Fitbod does something that no other way of working out has done. It gives me a plan when I just put in I can set my own splits. I can for what I want to do. I put in biceps, I put in chest, I put in abs, and it goes gives me 10 things. I have another profile called lean and clean cardio, and it'll give me 6 things, and then it'll give me 30 minutes of cardio, different jumping rope or riding bike, and it takes all that when you walk into the gym. I don't like the gym. Do you like the gym?
I do, but a lot of my friends have these apps and they're like, "You'll feel crazy," and then I'm like, my goal is just to not leave injured anymore. Like I'm just trying to maintain status quo.
This is great.
Wow, you took my 60-year-old brain and put it in your head.
This is great for you though, because you can use it on the road.
That's great.
And-
The body weight thing.
Because you
dude.
can sometimes you're in a hotel gym and
Exactly.
it's like my app says get this machine and you're
And
like,
I
I
don't
have
have
3
that.
missing dumbbells.
He does body weight
Nice.
There's
in
one
the room.
You do the little slider, it turn body weight only, and ask her. Sometimes, like I'll go work out dumbbells and weights if there's enough in the hotel gym, and it's fine. It's
Are you
easy.
the guy shadow boxing in the green room now?
Body weight, body
Okay,
weight,
go get this crowd.
body
used to.
weight. I used to do this for 30 minutes before every show when I started. Body weight will kick your ass.
Burpees.
Burpees and
But it's also based on your fitness level.
Yep.
So some of this might sound scary to people who don't work out at all. But
You keep using that example. For the weakest guy here.
I wore a sweatshirt so you couldn't see how skinny I am. And
By
now
the way, if you're a weakling and you need to get Fitbod.
by the way, going back
just if
to
anybody here,
Did I say weakling like it's 1920? You
sound
weakling.
like my high school bullies.
he's a winkling, you see. Speaking of comics who are real comics that all they do is rip on each other, the green room with the three of us in it is
It's
brutal before a
It's
show.
brutal.
We
Yeah.
all walk out crying.
Yeah.
So it's based on your fitness level, though, and your equipment
Yep.
and what you want to do, your goals. So add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription, or you can try the app for free if you go to fitbod.me/Titus. That's FITBOD.me/Titus.
You get a whole year of training for less than what it costs to get trained one time. You go get Fitbod. So have you been paying attention to all? Do you pay attention to politics anymore?
I'm trying to tune out a little bit because I get so angry at the phone, and then you look up and you're like, oh, real life is, I'm curious about, because you're the only liberal I know that's allowed to be this angry because you can fix your own car, so it's like.
and I can fight on martial arts. Yeah.
So like you have, like for me, I'd be like on the side of the road, like, where's all this green juice coming from? And but when you go in public, do you like, if you run into someone in the wild, do you start a fight or do you try to camouflage
Did I talk about
yourself?
this last week? The go-kart?
He for sure engages people.
Did I talk
in
about the
conversation.
go-kart thing? No.
No, and Nordstrom.
I had two
Picked a
things.
fight at Nordstrom?
No fight. No. I've actually changed my opinion about it because what I really started to get recently is that these people that back Trump are in this weird place where they don't want to admit they did something that they were wrong, and they also like, we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden has done it. Say what you will. You really have to go a long way to say that Biden did a shitty job. You really have to really make some
Overdose
shit.
deaths are down for the first time in 5 years.
Yeah, that's
so
inflation is still
probably
dropping.
his fault.
Yeah. So I take my son, it's his birthday last week. We go-kart racing, and we do 2 races. We're doing 3 races. I kicked his ass, by the way. And he won 1, I got 2. So this Asian dude comes over to us, and he goes, oh man, we're comparing times because this guy was really fast. And I'm like, how are you doing it? Give me lines. And he goes, yeah. And then out of the blue, he goes, yeah, well, I don't come here a lot anymore because of the economy. And I said, what's wrong with the economy? And he goes, oh my God, you kidding me with this guy? I go, which guy? And I go, we had 5.1% growth last quarter. I go, that's crazy. I go, we haven't had that in years. I go, the economy's, and I started listing statistics, and I watched this guy. He knows I know.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know.
He's
And
like, I'm looking at the wrong website.
He goes, so are you saying this guy did a good job? I go, compared to the last guy?
Yeah.
I think so. I go,
Wait,
yeah.
TruthEagle.com doesn't have the right statistics? I don't understand.
Truth Eagle shoots you in the face, liberal. That .com, that one doesn't have.
.net.
Yeah,
Come on.
sorry, you're right.
Relax.
It's a nonprofit.
No, they're not profitable. That's the difference.
So he goes, what about this? What about that? And because of this podcast and because of the research I do, I just kept laying it out. And the guy goes, well, you know what? This is what he finally said. And then my son jumps. He goes, yeah. But he goes, do you let me out? He goes, we need someone on the Supreme Court that knows what the difference is between a man and a woman. I go, who are you talking about? He goes, Ketanji Brown Jackson. She couldn't even answer what a man or a woman was. And Jet, who's in college and getting that, he goes, I'm sorry. He goes, you're not Jet, my son, my goofy ass son goes, I'm sorry. There's 2 different ways to look at that. Number one, you can look at it at gender with the X and Y chromosomes, or you can also say societal norms. Well, societal norms have changed in this country. And I'm like, who the fuck are you?
What website are you looking at?
Yeah. And he goes, so if you're not going to fold in societal norms and what people want to be or what they do in a free country, then I guess you can say what you want, but it's a free country. And I was like, she did a great job with him because it wasn't me.
That's funny.
And so this guy finally goes, here's where he gets out of it. He goes, I'd argue with you, but I don't have the facts.
Oh, wow.
Wow, somebody admitted that.
And I go, dude, it's okay. It's okay. I go, listen, we don't agree politically, but we have fun go-karting, man. I fist bumped him and that was it, man. So go-karts brought us
By
together.
fist bumped, he means punch.
And now
As he was
fist bumped his face.
as he was walking away.
I fist bumped
He
his.
forgot to put his fist in the way, and that was the problem. I had a tax lady. I went to like H&R Block, and like she was being real coy about it, but every time she was like, "Well, this one was put in. This 16 cents you saved was from Trump or whatever, and that's set to expire next year." And I was like, "You might actually convince me with the taxes," but I was trying to rile her up, you know. Like by the end of it, I was like, "Let's go storm the Capitol," and she was like, "Yeah."
Can we claim that? Can we claim the travel? Yeah. If we can claim the travel to storm the Capitol, we will do it.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the debate a little bit just because
it's like watching two old guys. It's gonna be like two
Jello wrestling. Or,
yes, it's gonna be awesome.
I think they should stream it on TikTok because neither of them can hold a sentence more than 60 seconds, you know? But
by the way, did you see the Hannibal Lecter thing that Trump said this week? He did it in a couple of speeches. He goes, the great Hannibal Lecter was a very good man. He had friends over for dinner.
Just so misunderstood. Yeah,
he doesn't understand jokes, and so he talks about Hannibal Lecter. It's a made up character, so not a real character.
That's the first point.
And he keeps bringing but I don't know in what context he was bringing it up in a political speech.
He's trying to be funny. I think that's what it is. You can't tell. There was also
nope.
There was also a 35-minute time-lapse video of watching people streaming out of that rally while you can hear him on the microphone still ranting about Chris Christie because he was in Jersey and, you know, COVID and whatever. People are just leaving in large groups because they can't even listen to that shit.
He bounces. It's like watching. His brain works like a pinball machine.
Yeah.
It's bang, 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 nothing. Bing, bong, bong, bing, bang, bong, bang. That's what he said. So how's your comedy coming along? You just got done a headline in Vegas.
Yeah, just had a new special June 11th on YouTube.
Okay.
And I did a thing where it's called Hello Beautiful. Yeah, number 3. So only 20 to go. So
to catch Carlin.
To catch everybody now. I mean, everyone and their mom. Your mom's special was great. And
she's dead.
And she's dead.
And
she killed it. So yeah, I did a thing where I didn't cut my hair in between specials because I wanted to make like a thing where I was like, I wrote this joke here, but then it was like 2 years, and then by the end of it, I just looked homeless. So
you really did.
It was.
We were
getting
worried.
I like that you say looked homeless, like you've straightened it out.
I've been homeless.
Like you've cleaned it up. Like now this is shiny Andrew.
Yeah. You might give me a nickel on the strip piece.
So this is tuned up.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure
it's the way that he flips his hair that always has me so disturbed. I just want everyone to know he used to be really normal. He looked so
she's like a weird mom or
clean
aunt.
cut and normal and eager. Now you're not that anymore.
I'm still eager, you know. I'm trying. I mean, I'm still, you know, writing 5 pages a week. I try to, and
how many comics are doing? Is everybody doing multiple, like special after special now?
The people that I hold myself to the standard are, I mean, local people, it's hard. A lot of people are just trying to get that first one. Mm-hmm. The first one's kind of the hardest because then you're like,
but also a lot of
you have to throw away all the jokes, and then and for me, like you know, she locks you in a basement with a typewriter, and then we need the new one, and then you know she throws you a steak once in a while and says, "Don't come out until you're done writing." But for me, like I'm still headlining while I'm writing new material and stuff, so it's like changing the wheels on a car while you're driving it a little bit.
He says it like you don't do that.
No,
you're not headlining. No,
I pound it up perfectly.
You do like 70% on the computer, right? And then
okay. So I'll say this because I've been around for all of them except one.
Yep.
He in the beginning would take jokes, add new jokes, still do the old show, and then start replacing bits.
Yeah.
And then get like 40 minutes. And it would be 40 minutes of this new, and then go back to 30 of the old because he's got to do it. And
then the club comes, do the Springsteen story again.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like,
But the last time, you're right, he wrote the new show, went up and basically riffed it at Flappers, and it was hilarious. He got applause breaks, and I really hated that. I really
You think it's all 40 years of I should. Like I should be able to go up. This new show scares me.
Yeah.
Because
You had this idea, I think, like when you were still working out the last one, you're like, I already have the next one halfway figured out. And you're like, you got the monkeys in your brain typing it out as
about a year and 3 months in, my brain starts to go, what's next?
Yeah.
What's next? I sat down with my son. He hadn't heard Carlin. He was like talking about Segura and he talking about the comics that he likes. And I made him sit down and listen to You Are All Diseased. And we sat in the car and he because now he's done it. He's done 25 times on stage. So and it's failing and it's not, and it's failing. So do you know what I'm saying? He's starting to understand a little bit, a glimmer. He's got a little bit of light, and it was about religion, Carlin on religion, about the man in the sky who loves you. He's going to say, but he's going to send you to a burning place. And he just looked at me and goes, holy shit. I go, yeah, every word. There's not a word missing. There's not an extra word. And it makes sense. And he goes, he's like a philosopher too. I go, exactly. I wanted to hug him. I was like, you get it. You can't do it yet.
I never hugged my dad never hugged me, so I'm not allowed to hug you. And
that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Quit touching me.
But I loved your Springsteen episode because I just went to a concert with my dad in Vegas at the Springsteen show, and
how good was it?
It was. Where are those 70-year-olds running for president?
Yeah,
right.
That guy
is 74 years old.
3.5 hours of just. He didn't have like a setup for every song. Like I wrote this in 1942. And
1, 2, 3, 4. That's the setup.
Yeah.
And then he finishes that song, and as the band's going, 1, 2, 3, you're like 6 songs. You're like, hey, can you just? I need a break.
I'm exhausted. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Also, I love that like old people don't stand at concerts. So that was my favorite experience, you know. They give it a song or two and then they're like, oh, this reminds me my knees hurt, you know. And
we stayed up the whole time. We were so annoying.
I saw your stories, your Instagrams. You were like dancing and rocking out.
Everyone hates us.
Even our friends were like, can you guys sit down? Yeah, I saw Bruce and 72 and I guess do that. We're like,
do you know that that's a thing? So in LA, Nils said it's all like agents and Hollywood people that are in the mosh pit. So last tour when Bruce was crowd surfing, Nils said it became a problem because now they're not 20, they're 75 and they're dropping him. So Nils one night had to reach down and drag him out because their joints were failing.
We were watching and Springsteen dumps in and he kind of does a little around thing. Then he starts to come back to the stage and we're watching Nils and Nils gets panicked, kind of puts his guitar to the side and runs to the edge of the stage and helps Bruce on the stage. Like, yeah, the 90-year-olds who had the good seats are.
But they're also like enjoying the concert. You know, they're not like they're not watching it through a 3-inch screen. You know, they're holding up their iPad.
Yeah.
We just last week was our Springsteen episode.
The flip phone recording.
Dell.
Last week was our Springsteen episode.
You got to hold.
My grandma still was using that old Windows Dell computer when she died. It was huge.
She was really.
Yeah, her laptop.
I thought we got her an Apple. No.
She probably couldn't figure out how to work it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That Dell, she had
this
on
button
lock.
turns it on. And
yeah, but the starting it.
She did have black electrical tape over the camera because she knew they were watching it.
Yeah.
I mean, turns out she might have been right about that.
Yeah, she was right. She read that Snowden book and she's like, nope. All right, man. So, but you're still loving stand-up? You still love it?
Yes. I mean, I love like we were talking about like the art of it where it's like, I love trying to get the joke to work and I'm kind of getting to the point where I can write like 5-ish minutes and just try that without like,
panic.
Without just throwing it without needing to hit the open mic first and stuff like that. And then it's like, it's still like, oh, that line didn't work the way I thought it would and remove that. And then, we got to fatten this up with more jokes and stuff.
How many years are you in now?
15?
He started right before
2009, yeah.
So I've got
we went on stage
that's right.
the same night in Snoqualmie.
That's right. You guys, so you
had a little you had a better mentor at the start,
I was way funnier, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
She also had 6 years of
because you were like, my closer was like call me when your throat hurts or something, and you were like he's ever gotten a blowjob, and then that was the biggest applause. And I was like, hey. I was like,
It's
is it that
always-
obvious?
It's always
Yeah.
that. At Tacoma, I said, Andrew lets me know I wouldn't have been attracted to Titus when he was young.
I forgot. It's you guys take it on stage. We do it in the green room. I do it. And you guys.
This is not a circle jerk. This is who cries first.
Well, she gets to go second, so she gets the, if I were going after her, I'd be like, look at that beautiful, funny
I
song.
have-
Yeah,
wait,
exactly.
wait.
What are you gonna do?
I have brought you up as a guest. You have done guest sets.
I don't remember. I mean, I did a guest set on your show when you were headlining at Flappers.
No, I
But,
thought I brought you up for a guest
Maybe.
set. You blocked
He
that
has,
out.
nothing but wonderful things to
said
say,
something.
so.
No, he didn't. Yeah, I think
Oh,
he said-
Slade. We've told this story when Slade was on our other podcast. I sucked and was not getting paid. And Slade was opening for him in Houston at the Improv, the old Improv. And I went out and died a slow and horrible cancerous death. And Slade walked back out and went, "Hey, at least she's pretty." And I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
no.
God."
Oh, that was the beginning, and then I've heard about this over and over when we argue. When we went down to the basement, and all of us ripped on her.
Sam, Damaris, Slade, they all
Me,
sat around and
just
ripped on me.
Because it's funny because I don't think I've ever told you this. So when you were on stage and it was going, Slade says something to the effect of, "We can't let her get away with this." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "No." He goes, "She gets treated like everybody else."
I actually said during that set, "You do the math," to the audience.
Yeah,
after
so
a joke.
she came downstairs and it
who's
was
drinking?
You'll
Osama
get
bin
it on the way
Laden.
home.
but it was
Come
but it
on.
was Slade who did say we can't give her a pass on
No
this.
baby hands, yeah.
Yeah, we can't give her a pass on this
No
because
Trump hands.
if she wants to be a real comic.
Trump gloves.
And so that's why you got thrashed.
I got thrashed because Slade and Sam are assholes, like
Nah.
we are.
And didn't you work at the
I
comedy
remember-
club too? So
Not at that one,
Okay,
but
yeah.
it was extra
But they knew
painful.
you from-
I used to
yeah.
book them
Yeah,
to
yeah.
work for me at all
Wait,
the
she's the
clubs.
one in charge?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know
It was
if we
no.
trust her judgment
But
anymore.
also every opening act needs it. I never gave you any quarter. You asked real
Mm-hmm.
questions. We talked about comedy, but I remember Bobby Slayton at the Punchline when I was like 19, 20, just fucking shredding me.
real friends will be honest with you.
Bobby wasn't my friend. He
Yeah.
hated young comics.
Yeah.
He just, and I remember John Campanera yanking me. I get off stage at the ISO and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? He goes, "You did an Elvis joke. Elvis has been dead since '77. What are you doing?" I go, "It's funny." He goes,
So I should throw out my Clinton
"No, it's
material?"
not." Yeah.
That's what you guys taught me about you do the math. Apparently, that's a thing you can't say. I know what you're thinking. You can't do that
Yeah,
either
yeah,
when
yeah.
you walk out.
I look like this and this. Had a
That was
baby.
his
Yeah,
opener
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
I know what you guys are thinking. And by the way,
This was 80s.
By the way, it was me and two other guys did it at the time. Elroy Jetson.
He invented it.
Elroy
He's so
Jetson.
old he invented the
Yeah,
hack joke.
Exactly. Yeah,
He's not a hack. He's the original.
yeah. He wasn't hack when I wrote it.
When the dinosaurs roamed the earth, this was an amazing joke.
Yeah.
No, I used to kill with the
Okay, give it to him.
Tyrannosaurus script.
Give it to him.
You guys I know you guys are thinking Richie Cunningham and Elroy Jetson had a baby.
Hey. All right. He's like, who's Elroy
No,
Jetson?
yeah, no, I get it. It just wasn't,
At all. It was nothing.
Yeah.
And then I did
TJ Mark Walter, who ended up being his agent for years, said he got that VHS in the basement of his apartment, put it in. He opened with that joke, and he was like, "That guy's a genius."
Oh, wow.
Hired.
That's how long ago.
Because TJ was his age
Yeah.
too.
And then I did.
Where are these
I did
agents?
Clint Eastwood. I did
Exactly.
Clint Eastwood as president, but I wrote that bit in 1983.
Oh yeah, he did Clint Eastwood as Ronald Reagan.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And I talking to Gorbachev, and then I did that for too long. I did that
The
until
views are just going straight down right now.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Jetsons, Clint Eastwood.
Doesn't matter. I've been doing this a long time.
I know. Respect, man.
The new show is going to be the new show is all about the history of America. So I'm Jeff. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for paying attention to the last podcast. But I'm going to relate the history of America to what's going on now.
And
Your
about
specials are
being
like
white.
your podcast. It's like every 5 years you do a Bruce Springsteen thing for 60 minutes, and then the rest of it's all political. Yeah.
No, every other special is
He
personal.
laughed
Yeah,
first, and then he was like,
Wait a second.
Yeah.
No.
My hearing's not so good."
It's
But,
good
like,
that he
you
laughs.
still-
At least he's not defensive.
What do you hate
immediately.
the most about stand-up?
The things that you hate are the things that you love. I mean, failing is awful, but it's necessary. the thing you told me over the radio, which I still listen to every morning in the mirror, but about like, you know, failure is your partner, and like you can't be scared of failure because it's going to teach you. You're going to be like, that stove is hot. Add a punchline, you know.
Everybody sucks. I'm trying to tell Jet. I'm doing with Jet now, dude. You're gonna. She's teaching him too. She's like,
we pitched on his bit for the contest tonight, and we didn't finish. I finally said, "Are you sitting at school?" No, because he was going to class.
He totally lied.
And then I go, did it start at 10? Because it's like 10:20, and we can hear him writing stuff as we're pitching jokes. And he actually just called me when class ended because he wants us to pitch on the rest of that bit too. But that's the thing, is that brutality of dead silence or booing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it in
fear and desperation.
I got booed by some Trump people one time, actually.
That's what makes you go and fix the joke, because you never want that to happen.
For me, it was when Titus was like, "Oh yeah, watch some of your special. You got this." I was like, "Oh, he means I don't have punchlines." Yeah. I didn't realize it until later. I watched my own shit again, and I was like, "Oh, I forgot punchlines." You know.
But you move a lot.
Your job.
Yeah. But I was just like, here's a premise and a funny face, you know, and then
you don't know, right?
But also you add multi-syllable words, thinking that's a punchline. You do.
That's what I was gonna say. So
Derek,
I pitch on a joke with Jet yesterday. He laughs, then he sends it back to me today, reverse with the punchline in the middle and ending with the word unfortunately. He added like all, and I was like, but you remember last, you don't get why yet. You're like, wait, why?
I've started a thing where when I type it out, I put the punchlines in red. I like cover the text to red color. That way I can kind of zoom out and go,
because it's hard
there's
to
a
tell.
Huge chunk of just nothing.
There's
but
a lot of this is a lot of blah blah. Oh, I hate the blah blah.
Cut the blah blah out, and
that's why I split them up, and I always leave a space, because that has to be a joke.
Like you said, when you type it out and you add a period, it's like, well, there should be a joke.
There's
in there,
a punchline,
you know?
here,
So, thank you for
he said to me, he goes one day. He calls me one day. I forget what special it was. He called me after one of them after you'd seen it. And you just called me and go, you know what, man? I thought you were full of shit. You keep saying you said every sentence needs a punchline, and I'm like, there's no fucking way he writes a punchline for every sentence.
I went back and watched Love Is Evil, which is my favorite one.
And he goes, you fucking do it,
God
man.
Damn it. I guess that guy's got a point. Yeah.
And it's gotten worse. I say worse. You know, like this last special, it's like every phrase he punchline. More often than not, we would hear people say, "I'm exhausted after that show," and I'm like, "Oh,
I love that."
Imagine living with him.
Now let me give you a paragraph setup.
She's like, I live with him.
I like a good paragraph setup. Yeah, you know.
Yeah. What do you hate? You hate the travel. You don't
hate the travel.
You don't like the. You don't like. Did you like the performing?
I wish I could appear, do comedy. Be on stage like we were on Saturday.
My idea is like just go to like rent an Airbnb for like a month and like go live in Atlanta and then just go out, like, go do Savannah for a weekend and go do
rent a bus, a tour bus.
You can get the Justice's Winnebago and
Clarence Thomas. But logistically, you're in your own house, sort of. The dogs are in the bed. I'm making a sandwich while Papa drives, you know?
Yeah, the show last night was pretty good.
Get a rap on the side of it.
Like Ralphie did.
You get chased by trunks with MAGA flags running you off the road. And
yes, that would probably happen.
You know what's funny? What I found out with the MAGA people, especially the ones that go out to comedy clubs, because there's a hardcore group that wants to take a chain to you. There's another group that has kind of come to this thing where they recognize it. Like we were in, I want to say Hartford, and I kind of went off on a Trump thing for a second. And even the people that were pro-Trump were like, yeah, they were like, there's a thing they've come to accept it. Plus him sitting in court every day is not going to be great. It's not.
Well, people are still voting for what's-her-face, even though she dropped out 20%. Of the race. Yeah, so that's not good. I mean, again, I'm scared. I'm not scared for the election. I'm scared what happens after the election. Because I think if they both stay alive, Biden will win.
Yep.
Because every year, like red wave, right? Like the independents change their mind every election because they're like, you lied to us. We're going to vote for the other people. And then they're like, you lied to us too.
Yeah,
and so then they vote for the other people. But the last couple elections, there hasn't been that big red wave that everyone's predicting. No. So like the independents are already done with Trump, which is what he needs to win.
Here's what
they screwed up by doing was taking women's rights away.
Mm-hmm.
Because women, we are the organizers and the motivators. Who are you telling? I've been sitting here thinking, is he going deaf? He's like, hi, everybody, welcome. No, I was literally sitting here thinking, is it because his hair is in his
ear? Muffling, sorry.
So speaking of being loud, I'll take that as well. We're going to organize the shit out of this election and people are going to be sorry.
Women are also the people, they'll be like, even let's say you got a husband, a hardcore husband that's like, we're voting Trump. He's like, yeah, we're voting Trump. She's going in that booth and you're going to go, fuck this guy. You're not going to take my rights away.
You mean liars and manipulators?
What do you mean? No, she's going to go.
Women.
I'll take that too.
No, when it comes to but
not you.
Sure.
Just people like
you.
Sure.
Sure.
Not you.
I've never said one thing and then done another behind your back.
I hear there's nothing underhanded. There's no
much to his dismay.
It's like, hey, can you be a little more underhanded, please?
Can you lie to me once in a while?
I'm begging for underhanded.
I actually thought that when I first met him, because you know how he is. We were on like an early date, and he had his heart destroyed. And can I tell this?
Yeah. Is this the Corvette one? Is it coming back?
It was about your behavior in the interim.
Right. Okay. Got it. Well, you could put that exact sentence in any phrase in my history.
We're on our first real date, and he goes, since my wife cheated on me and stole all that money from me, I've just been a whore. I've just been sleeping around. And I remember thinking, the fuck are you telling me this? I found out later it was 2 people. Well, 1.5. So still not bad because he's still a good man.
Yeah.
But still, I remember thinking, please lie to me. Why do we have to be so honest? And thus began 18 years of brutal honesty.
Okay. Also, we're coming back from dinner that first night, on first date after you flew out to LA.
Yeah.
And I'm going, you need to do it.
That was the same night.
I start telling her what she needs to do,
to
how her life will work. Like, I'm the guy who's going through the brutal divorce. I have no money. I've lost everything. And I'm telling her.
She got my special about my daddy issues.
He was on the cover of the Inquirer the week before.
What did you say? You said something. You go, oh, how really? Are you? Oh, thank God! Thank God I came out here so you could fix my life. And it's funny the way she said it. It was like a comic nailing you.
Yeah.
And I started laughing.
Yeah.
And I pulled over at the beach and I apologized.
Then he put on the suave.
Is that when you knew she would, like, when she could crack a joke like a real comedian? You were like, oh, we might have a chance at this.
No, she the reason that
No, it was my butt.
True. And your boobs. No. The reality about Ray is that Ray had been around comedy for so long and it kept up with what's up? It kept up with all the comedians. You got to remember, she worked comedy clubs. She knew all the comics, so she kept up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And because she could play everybody's game, so there was nothing there that was missing.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't. She's not a shrinking violet in any way, shape, or form.
Hello,
Groucho.
The same haircut.
Poochie's way better.
You know what he calls his? A donkey blanket.
Yeah, exactly. You have one on your head.
It's unfortunate that you just said that.
Because Poochie got a donkey blanket.
Oh.
And then she started giving me jokes. I was working on
Love is Evil.
Because she came to watch Fifth Annual End of the World was already done. And I started working on Love is Evil, which is about her and my ex. And she started giving me great jokes. And I was like, that's annoying that you're giving me great jokes. And I'm using it, but that's annoying. And then she started writing her own stuff. And now the rest is history. What's your new special called?
Hello, Beautiful.
When's it coming out?
June 11th.
What's your channel? Is it
YouTube.com/Andrew J. Rivers.
Andrew J.
Yeah, I got to add the J, like my daddy Trump. No, when I first tried to get a website, someone already had AndrewRivers.com, so I was like, whatever. And I threw the middle initial in there because it seemed like a thing to do and stand out. And people are always like, is that a stage name? And I'm like, just the name.
That's actually just my initial.
Just a showbiz family name, you know.
Andrew Rivers?
Yeah.
Maybe you say Christopher Titus. Is that your real name?
Yeah.
No.
Is that your real face? How Hollywood are you?
No one's ever asked me if that's my name is.
What do you guys think about the Michael Johnson thing? Do you think there should be a law against having the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, the guy, the Speaker? Don't you think there should be a law against the Speaker of the House supporting a president that tried to overthrow the election? Don't you think there should be shouldn't there be some sort of
problematic? I will say, but he was the one that helped write the whole thing.
Yeah, he was part of the plan.
Fake electors, yeah.
I don't think people vote Democrat. Here's why. You'll get what you want. They're trying, the Republicans, no, they will. The Republicans are trying to take our Social Security. Hey, dickheads, that's my bank account. I've been paying into that. That's my money.
He's going to need it very soon.
Yeah. Tomorrow. By the way, that's my money, though. Yeah. What are you saying? Oh, these entitlements. It's not an entitlement if I deposited money in it every year. That's my money, you fuckers. Right. So,
well, it's their paycheck is also dependent on Trump being in power too. That old saying, "It's impossible to convince a man of something if his paycheck depends on it." So, true. I mean, that's why I laugh at your jokes too. But,
okay, we have to go now because Andrew is going to be on our next podcast, Knock 'em Dead. So we're going to wrap this one up.
You get out of here, Ken. You want to come back? Wrap it up.
We're going to hold him over.
Ken. That's Andrew Rivers. By the way, go check out his special, Andrew J. Rivers, on YouTube. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you so much. This is actually a really good one. So
I hope finally. Get out of here.
Never good to describe your own comedy by saying, no, this one. This is.
You know the other ones?
Actually, you wouldn't believe it.
Yay! Andrew, you got to remember, I weirdly feel like I raised Andrew Rivers in comedy.
Aww.
I know it's wrong. Steve Hofstetter is his stepdad, who's spent many more time raising him.
Fun fact, give it to us.
Fun facts. Facts. I'm not waiting.
It's time for Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts.
You would think I had more time to find one.
I love that you wait till you're on the way down the stairs. He's like, what is it about that? Stuntman Tommy did the same thing. He'd be like, hold on. Here's a fun fact.
I'll find him one.
It's Thursday. No, it's not Thursday. But
speaking of obvious things, giraffes are 30 times more likely to get
sore throats.
Good one.
I drive convertibles.
Another good one. To get hit by lightning.
Oh.
No, that's kind of obvious.
Right?
You're sticking up above everything.
It's a weather vane.
Seriously. That's actually not the reason. The reason is that their bones are made of metal. No, it is the reason. That's the stupidest thing.
This is terrible.
By the way, you could have guessed that, Bumback.
I just made it up.
I like that he said... That was terrible. He's like Andrew about his comedy. Okay, so come and see us May 22nd, San Jose Improv.
San Jose Improv.
Coming up, Dayton, Cincinnati, Toledo, Des Moines, Kansas City, Phoenix, Tempe, Omaha. So go check out.
I will be breaking in a big chunk of the new show on the 22nd at the San Jose Improv.
The whole new show.
I'll be a chunk of it. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how much I'll have
We've
written.
Also,
I've already got a piece of it written.
Here's a fun thing. We've added December 7th at the Royal Oak Theater in Michigan, outside of Detroit, Ann Arbor.
Pearl Harbor Day, we're going to be kicking ass in Detroit.
Ken put Detroit on this website, but they would take offense to that. It's
Royal
Ann
Oak.
Arbor.
It's Ann Arbor.
Right? No. Or is it Royal Oak?
It's Royal Oak.
I don't know. It's something that's not Detroit that they get wound up about. Also, we added December 21st, right before, this will be our last show of the year, like we love to do in Seattle at the Neptune Theater.
Yes.
So
I'll be doing a whole new show.
It's our favorite way to close out the year.
Oh, God. Or we'll be on fire because Trump won.
No.
Oh, boy. Then you have to write a whole new one.
Oh, no.
All right. No. We have to go now. That was depressing.
Sharks 30 times more likely to be wet.
No, you be quiet. You're done.
Elephants.
No.
30 times more likely to be diabetic.
For myself.
He made it up about the giraffes. What is going on with this is my podcast. I run this shit. For myself and the lovely Bombshell Ray and the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
The Highlander, 30 times more likely.
No.
To still be alone. You're not trying.